douglAR politics. Tonight, 7:30 p.m. Vaccine, mandatory vaccine, no education program whatsoever to educate the people, to convince them, to show them about the efficacy, the science behind vaccine. You're mandatory. You want to go in parliament and force people to take vaccine, but you don't want to go in parliament and stop bank from foreclosing and taking people's property, their business, their car, their home, their assets. You don't want to do that. You didn't want to defer interest, defer loans, stop, put a moratorium. You didn't even want to use the parliament to protect the people. You're telling people about mandatory vaccine, but where the flipping vaccine? Where the 800,000 Johnson & Johnson jab that you boast about 7 weeks ago? Where? You're opening back? Where the borders? You lock down the borders? You're talking about vaccine? What vaccine you take? You take, what was that, a second shot of Pfizer? How we know it's Sinopharm? It was saline water. What you take? Nobody trusts you. How do you trust a liar? What they injecting you? Look, douglAR politics tonight, 7:30 p.m. sharp. We go deal with all of that. Rowley, you peanut head.
This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics. Listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics.
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. Minister Bundles is boasting that she gave out 268 bursaries. What is a bursary? Who qualifies for the bursary? How many children applied for the bursary? Why you change it to a bursary? What was wrong with scholarship? Because anything to do with PNM, even if it's hamper, you had to know somebody to get something. You had to put your subjectivity onto the thing. So you come now to say that you give out bursary. You were supposed to give out 500 bursary, but you only give out 268. One to the next half of the bursary. You're keeping that quiet to be like a scholarship Joan Yule Fund. And Dr. Hines, did you get one of those scholarships? Because you sounding saucy, boy, yeah? PNM all in your ears hole, but it's all right. So the bursaries, 282 children applied for these ministry bursaries. 14 were ineligible, and 268 get it. So anybody who apply, get it then. Who apply? Who bothered to apply? What's the difference? We would like to know. Is there a means test? Because I hearing millionaire getting thing too. I don't know. I go double check, triple check, quadruple check. But if you're a millionaire and you're getting bursary, you just qualify for bursary? I don't know. What's the point? How many? Anyway, I will go into detail with you, Minister Bundles. Furthermore, anything else on that? No. The EU is likely to decide on Moderna shot for kids next week. Amsterdam, a top official of the European Medicine Agency, says a decision on whether to recommend that Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine be authorized for children is expected late next week. Well, that's good for the children in the EU, in Europe and so on. That ain't good for we. Because we can't spell Moderna, we can't get Pfizer, where the Johnson & Johnson we're supposed to be getting. Rowley saying, no, if it wasn't for Sinopharm, if it wasn't for Xiao, we would have been dead. Rowley, nearly 1,000 dead, you clung. 982 as I speak. After 55 days of SOE, after 62 days of lockdown, shutdown, broke down, and dead down, we still have 252 positive cases and 13 dead citizens. And this peanut head, bald head, clown still talking arrogantly like he's the best thing since sliced bread, toasted to a golden brown glaze with a little sunflower butter on it. Oh, they like that, eh? Oh, they get hungry. Yeah, so I'm happy for those children who live in countries with good government and so on. Hey, look, peanut head. Archie, all you getting back in my good books, boy. All you going good. Yes, I'm happy for those children. What about our children? And on top of that, we had no Pfizer, no Moderna, nothing for children. But Minister Bundles, who take out she bundles, because the douglAR noticed she bundles was bundling while all of we on lockdown, shut down and broke down. She had a secret document that leaked out, where they had a set of thing ready to put with children in harm's way. In September to go to face-to-face school with Brazilian variant still ravaging and Delta variant. Is it here? Did we test? Was it test? Random sampling? Full sampling? How many of those 252 tests today, Minister Bundles, were tested for Delta variant? You wouldn't know because you didn't consult with no stakeholders. You come up and create a policy and a position, and when you're done, just like Tobago, self-government bill, all you're done, and then tell Tobagonian take that. Well, anyway, all they don't care about we children, eh? Oil demand will reach pre-pandemic level in 2022. Now, to my people, actually, I don't know if you could do it, I didn't tell you, but you remember this? All you know my boy who do this? I want to ask my boy who do this, if he does drive car. You does drive car, Bretchen? Because let me tell you, if you does drive car, and you does put $300 in your car per week, and you does drive X amount of kilometers, you go in and have to put 3 times X, okay? You're going to put $900 to get the same amount of kilometers to drive per week, because the OPEC says the oil demand will reach pre-pandemic level in 2022. 2022 is a mere 5.5 months away. You have lost because of this. Yes, man, play, man. Yes, because of you are whining and you dip your finger, you have lost your gas subsidy. You are born here, you could whine like that because it's a Trini, but you now lose your right to oil and gas, to the benefits of your birthright, to be a Trini. Your PNM take it from you, and you go have to pay world global prices. The liberalization of the fuel market, they come in, they're giving KFC, they're going to get cartel. Don't worry though. Calm would protect you. Yes. You don't worry. Calm, that bastion of heart and passion and care and love for fellow man. Calm will protect you from any cartel behavior. Having removed your subsidy once, twice, 3 times. They haven't rioted yet. I might have to come back in April and move all. He moved all. He's selling out all. It go on markup plus markup by markup. So understand, in USA already, in the last 6 weeks, the price of fuel has gone up 40%. That's what we are going to be. Anytime global oil price go up, fuel price will go up. No protection, no buffer. Because we is not no Trini again, because PNM say, go now. So if you're vexed that you had to fill your tank for 300% more than you was filling, all you go now. If you don't love that, go now. If you don't love to take out your wallet and do so, here, go now. That's what the PNM say. All your yes, wine all your neck till it crook. Nikwan probe into April explosion completed. Here is PNM now. PNM Nikwan, on the board of the PNM Nikwan that got government minister's share of gas from Franklin Can and the PNM to give them to the PNM brother man, the supporter of the PNM. The chairman is PNM. Alison Due Diligence Lewis was a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance at our PNM board, on the PNM port board. She approved Bridgman's and Bollis due diligence. She on this board, an independent PNM senators, and we've seen that they have many independent PNM senators all over. They had some in the past, some in the future, some all around. It's just, it's like an infection. It's like COVID-19. This PNM independent senator, PNM independent institution, PNM independent, right. The other man, small too. He was an independent senator. He on this PNM board. They can't pay the workers. They borrow 120 million US. They make no product yet to sell. They earn a cent. They have their wage bill of 511,000 US per month to pay the workers. They pay no workers. They blow up twice. They rock people's house. They hear them now. The investigation, hear the president of corporate communications of Nikwan. Well, boy, that you should call Rhoda Barrett for that job, because that is crisis after crisis after crisis. Ember should pay she to go down there and do crisis management for Nikwan. Because here Malcolm Wells, poor fella. The investigation has been completed. We've applied the recommended mitigation measures. Our focus is now on completing the plant safely, and we're working towards that objective. That is it, eh? That is it, you know. I wonder which newspaper would take such a critical article and stick it on page 1 of section A, which is quite in the back there, right? And put it down in the corner here. This thing nearly killed people. People want to know if they get in their money for the mash up wall, the car glass break, all them kind of thing. They want to know what's going on there. Is it dangerous? Are their lives at risk? Is it a risk to the existing plant and infrastructure and the assets of the people? Them say, yes, man. Investigation finished. They give you some mitigation measures. We going ahead. We just mashing gas. That is Trinidad and Tobago. And Newsday, all you just leave it there. All you just happy with that. All you want to find out. All you want to get the report. You want to hear what the report say. You want to know what's going on. And to Nikwan, the last time I checked, before all you blow up, all you was looking for people to take money out of their pocket to invest in all you. And all you get a report and keeping it secret. Why? Nikwan, do you think you're going to get more taxpayers' dollars? Because the original man who came up with that idea was Malcolm Jones, and his lawyer was Stuart Smallpin Young, and now he is the Minister of Energy, but he says there's no conflict of interest there whatsoever. Is it that you all feel taxpayers going and continue to fund that nonsense? Because the last time I checked, you were trying to raise some 75 million US or more, and you still have 120 million US to pay out the poor Republic Bank. Me ain't even know if Republic Bank want that thing that all they have there, because that thing must be worth nothing right now. Talking about something worth nothing, I just want to give a resounding round of applause to Keith Christopher Rowley, Colm the Dwayne Imbert, and the P&M cabinet. You all have taken us from the envy of the Caribbean, showing savings, foreign direct investment, per capita income, highest levels. Trinbagonians were blessed with oil and gas. We now dead last in the Caribbean in foreign direct investment. What does that mean? We have negative 439 million US FDI for fiscal 2020. Do you know what that means? What that means is the money that is normally invested in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have some international conglomerates and so on, especially in the oil and gas industries, others also, but they would tend to look at the future, see what are the possibilities of profitability, and make decisions on increasing investment going forward in order to make super profits down the road. Well, look what happened to Trinidad and Tobago. All of these intelligent people looked at our future economic possibilities, the future plan, and these are very bright, intelligent people who look at the macroeconomic factors, the government policy initiatives, the creativity, the diversification, the stability of the economy, global factors, and they make decisions on where to put their money because that's where they want to get the profit from. All of these bright, intelligent, brilliant people decided to suck out their money out of Trinidad and Tobago under Rowley, Dwayne and the PNM and invest it somewhere else, which meant that there was a net outflow of US dollars 439 million US out of Trinidad and Tobago because of the intelligence, the brilliance, the clean spanking laundromatic suit, amazing arrogance of Keith, Dr. Stones Rowley. I just have to clap it up, man. You deserve a clappers. You deserve a clappers. And you know what? Tomorrow you go come out arrogant and shout down at people. It is amazing how someone so stupid, so dotish, so incompetent, who could take a gem like Trinidad and Tobago and turn it into grated charcoal that can make a barbecue pork leg and take we from hero to zero, and yet you still arrogant with your dotish flipping self. On top of that, we've dropped in the competitive index across the board. The ease of doing business is near impossible. The government is only cutting deals and making deals with international companies and governments. Our local businesses are left out. Even Caribbean Airlines, that is subsidized by your money, the management is cutting deals with rent-a-car companies that are owned foreign. That means money going out. The forex crunch is killing and crippling businesses. People have no money to invest. Those outside go in and take their money elsewhere. And that had nothing to do. This was 2020 before COVID. Those decisions were being made. Now, we are Brazilian variant killing we. We dead in. We still on lockdown. No economic activity. 252 cases, 13 deaths. By 2 days from now, by Sunday, we cross 1,000 deaths. And Rowley's still talking arrogantly that he's the best and they did the best. #1 in the world. Bunch of idiots. At least Tobago making sense. They say all the opening borders. Right? Very good. Nice. But the beach them close. So who come in? And then some PNM woman ball, oh, yes, we're getting good responses to the flights that we're opening up. Yes, really? What are these people coming to do? They're coming to look at Rowley on TV, do a press conference and talk stupidity and lie down the place. What are they going to do? They're going to go where? To the beach to get a $1,000 ticket? What are they going to do? They're going to watch police roadblock. They go in and watch gang warfare in the middle of the street in a state of emergency, people getting shoot down, open field, running around and bullet flying. What they coming to watch? A gangster movie? What are they coming? What are they coming to do? They ain't coming to invest nothing. We minus 439 million foreign direct investment. We have a clung dunce lawyer, Stuart Smallpin Young, in charge of energy after he crashed the entire energy sector with his negotiation and the Doctor of Stones. Where they come in to do what? Jobs for the food sector. Come in here, Archie. Come in on this one here. Because I just want to show. All you're giving jobs. We in this pandemic thing 17 months now. All you still cannot organize human beings with social separation and so on. All you find that looking correct, really and truly, pull back out. That can't be correct. That look like we lining up to go in a fete. We lining up to go in soca and get wet down and drink some rum and soda and then eat 3 doubles. Yes, no, Raul, you leave the doubles for us now. You go in the golf course. And you go and eat your lasagna and maybe, you know, some baked potatoes and Yorkshire pudding. You could go eat that, and maybe when you're finished eating that, you look in the mirror and you look a little bit pink, okay? You go do that. I mean, Mavado and them have some tablets for you. You could take them. You look a little lighter. You'll be happy, okay, Rowley? You leave the doubles for us real Trinis, okay? We go eat 3 doubles. Nice. Education Ministry. Wrong thing. 192 new COVID-19 cases and 6 deaths yesterday. 252 cases today. But doctor put on makeup and put on a mask and come out to play sweet thing and smiling with Rolly. And that's my girl, that's the girl in charge. Yes, when she on a PNM board, TTRHA, she on the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau Standard board collecting PNM money stipend. She on NIPDEC board collecting PNM stipend money. And she draws her pay from the PNM. But she coming to tell me, there's a downward trend. The next Afro one who does go on PNM fake news thing to talk to Saucy Wow. He telling we that the COVID, the fiasco with our elderly coming for vaccines that never existed for 3 days straight. And we all seen spike. We all seen increases. After we suffer $8 to $10 billion of opportunity costs, the spike going up. We still gain it. 252 cases and 13 deaths. Yesterday, 192 cases and 6 deaths. But do you know something? I wonder what page this is. Page 9. How come COVID-19, 6 deaths, 192 cases? How come that reached page 9 of a newspaper? Look at it. Don't say that a lie. No. Look at this little thing here. This little article here. That's it. Seriously? What's the reason for that? I wonder what newspaper this is. Judy Raymond, do you have any answers for me? How are you feeling? How is the lockdown, shutdown, and brockdown treating you? Because the brockdown really treating you maybe worse than others. COVID-19, yes. Men over 70 with comorbidities and pre-existing conditions, when they get COVID-19 positive, they are high at risk for erectile dysfunction. So those who were benefiting before the COVID-19 positive test, they may be depressed right now, Judy Raymond, unless you had something in the reserve, unless you went back by your boy, you understand? How come that reached page 9? Is it that the media is trying to suppress the fact that Keith Christopher Rowley and his government are total, complete failures, and that our citizens are dying daily? And even though we are starving, we are not greedy, that over 14% of the population from middle have gone down to below the poverty line? Even though all of that is taking place, are they trying to pass off Rowley's arrogant stupidity and his idiotic government as acceptable? Is that what's happening? Or is it really that 6 deaths and 192 positive cases during a SOE and a shutdown, lockdown, and brockdown? It's a non-story. You decide, you know. Maybe it's a non-story, I don't know. Calls for China to be more transparent. What? China to be more transparent? Who would say that? Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, you who just tell me after listening to Rowley talk for half an hour before, when was that, boy Vishnu? That was about February. In February this year, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, I had to take you to task. You made a statement live because Rowley just talk one bag of nonsense. You ain't check a stat sheet. You ain't check no data. You are a scientist. You just take a confirmed parliamentary liar word for it. And you make a categorical statement that Trinidad and Tobago without vaccines was doing so great. We were fantastic with COVID-19, using, the 3 W's and social separation and washing and so on. You Ghebreyesus, you can't even spell Trinidad and Tobago. You can't even spell press conference live. You can't even spell Davlin Thomas, convent girl. You can't even spell 982 citizens dead. We handling it good? What say you now? But like you're going against now? Let's hear what Ghebreyesus has to say now. The head of the World Health Organization acknowledged it was premature to rule out a potential link between the COVID-19 pandemic and a laboratory leak. And he said yesterday he is asking China to be more transparent as scientists search for the origins of the coronavirus. So the WHO is asking China to be more transparent. And we, Peanut Head Rowley, is telling us, NDA, NDA. I swear it's NBA, no. I swear it's Phoenix Suns playing Milwaukee Bucks. I swear it's Booker versus Antetokounmpo. But it's not NBA, it's NDA. Only secret thing is not his money, you know. Your money. But he only signing NDA. But Gabriel Jesus asking China to be more transparent, and Rowley telling China, we go keep your secret. In a rare departure from his usual deference to powerful member countries, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. One thing, you have a nice name though. He's a clown. You talk out of turn. You have verbal diarrhea. You forget the science. You're easily warped and easily influenced by idiots who talk to you. But you have a nice name. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said getting access to raw data had been a challenge for the international team that traveled to China earlier this year to investigate the source of the COVID-19. Well, we're monitoring that. But as we talking NDA and thing, Rowley talking vaccine. I don't know where to go, where to start with this, you know. But let me just say, since we're dealing with China first, and Rowley China, and Coleman but China, and negotiating a loan a year before the vaccines get WHO approval, and Trinidad and Tobago's vaccination program still a start. It's like no programming available, because right now we are 11% fully vaccinated. We need to reach 75% of the population. The population is 1.39 million local and 150,000 Venezuelan. So you cannot just calculate the 1.39. You have to calculate that 1.54. Or if it's 200,000, 1.59 million. Because them in the herd saying, hello, ¿cómo está? You all right? Todo bien. Dame una bebida, por favor. ¿Con hielo? Sin hielo. You see, the herd mix because the borders open. So you can't just leave out the Spanish piece of the herd. You have to take care of the Spanish cattle too. Not only the local cow, right? So, we having a problem accessing vaccine. Right through. And Rowley seems to think now that his plan, because we get Sinopharm here now, Sinopharm that we didn't know we was going to get, or if we was going to buy, and come say he's going to buy 1.5 million, and then he come back and say, nah, the douglAR politics, edit the tape and so on. What is the truth? Where the vaccines? On top of that, USA giving out vaccine all over the place. So why we ain't getting none? Trinidad Tobago, we have more Yankee accent than Yankee self. We just learn in Miami. And when we board on the Caribbean airline, we talking so boy, sister, give me some water then, girl. Oh God, my throat, oh God, a patch, girl. Let me drink, put a little ice in it for me. As we learn and we see Visa line, hey man, could I have some water, please? You think that's we? We are more Yankee than Yankee. But we can't get no vaccine from USA. All kind of country getting vaccine. But I wonder why, boy. As they're calling on China to be more transparent. And Rowley can't talk Spanish. But he can talk Daimas. Coco de Daimas. Chala Street? Yes. Daimas. Shonge. Siao. Run the track, run the Mondelo. Hear what Mondelo was here. The Yankee was here. Hear what the ambassador had to say about Rowley, who attacked he right through too, you know. And he was only hogging up conga line. Run it.
Let me be clear. Just as with the 80 million doses we previously announced, the United States is providing these 500,000 doses with no strings attached. Let me say it again. With no strings attached. Our vaccine donations don't include pressure for favors or potential concessions. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period.
And then, after Mondello's interview that you all saw last week, he did it about 3 months ago, so everybody has seen it. President Biden recently, that's a few weeks ago, before he started handing out vaccine all over the place, no strings attached. And you see, put up the image of the countries that have received vaccines from the USA, since they have 500 million doses to give out. They're giving out Pfizer, they're giving out Moderna. You're going to have to put that up bigger, because I ain't walk with my binoculars nor my magnifying glass. That's nice. Thank you. This is Gavi Kovacs. Go back up. Let me read the heading. Go back down. Right? The countries covered were defined according to the criteria of the COVAX Advanced Market Commitment, signed the Global Alliance for Vaccination, Gavi. The list of 92 AMC eligible economies includes all economies with gross national income per capita under US 4,000. Okay. This is the list of the countries that are going to get from the US donations. And as you can see, Trinidad and Tobago is not there. However, we also showed you, you could take down that now, that in the last 6 weeks, you could come down, we told you right here on douglAR Politics, Taiwan get 2.5 million, an extra 1.5 million, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, all across the board. Mexico gets some more, Canada gets some more, Brazil get, Chile get, all kind of countries getting vaccine from the USA. But Trinidad and Tobago has not been so lucky. But then we hearing now from Keith Christopher Rowley, and it's very interesting. I'm going to read for you from The Guardian, page 5. Here your Prime Minister, the one who always tells you the truth. The Commonwealth observers didn't have money to come. They always tell you the truth. He didn't know Delcy brought PDVSA officials. Delcy Rodriguez, an indicted vice-presidente of Venezuela, landed in Trinidad and Tobago with the permission of his Minister of National Security, the Honorable Small Pin, on the tarmac in a sanctioned plane with 5 other PDVSA officials, and went directly to speak face-to-face with Keith Christopher Rowley, and he didn't know about the agenda. There was no agenda. He came out and said, well, it was to discuss COVID-19. Then it was about the Venezuelans here and hampers and treatment and charity for them. That's what he said, and he didn't know as there was some fellow called Astrubal Chavez. Astrubal Chavez, the right hand of Nicolas Maduro, family to Hugo Chavez, the man in charge of the energy sector, and 5 other PDVSA officials land and meet with he didn't know, right? That man who tells you the truth, who went in the parliament with some pieces of paper that he says email and lie down the place for an hour and 15 minutes. That man who always tells you the truth. Hear him now. Trinidad and Tobago signs a confidentiality agreement with the US on vaccines. And the Guardian print that headline. Now you all stop before I go any further. Let me read the headline for you and tell me what impression you get. Trinidad and Tobago signs confidentiality agreement with the US on vaccines. All you pull back up the Biden video there for me and have it ready. Let us be clear. The United States of America that is donating vaccines to the world, they are doing so no strings attached. There is no NDA, there is no cost, there is no form to sign, there is nothing. They are telling you, we are giving you this, we are bringing it in here, shake a hand, thank you very much. They have sent it to Taiwan, they sent it all over the world. Bangladesh got, Honduras, El Salvador, everybody get in. US donations of vaccines. There is no such thing as a non-disclosure agreement for donation. Let us be clear. Because You see the games these newspapers play. You see the games Keith Rowley plays. He is trying to take egg off his face by playing games and mixing up issues. Just like they get two ferry from down in Australia, from two private Australian companies that have no government shareholding. They borrow money that you have to pay back from the Australian Exim Bank and tell you that is a government-to-government relation because they met with the Prime Minister before and he said, hey, we could probably have companies who could buy ferries for you, who could build ferries for you. And you all believe that and the media accept that. Then you had a Minister of Small Pin saying it came at a great time to get two Cutlass ferries because the government of Australia was giving grant funding for those two Cutlass vessels. Do you know what grant funding means? Grant funding you don't pay back. It's granted to you. Please, media, ask Small Pin, the real Minister of National Security, how much grant funding did the Trinidad and Tobago access from the Australian government for them two boats that reached? And Rowley went and opened and cut ribbon and tore. So we are all safe now. The borders are not porous anymore. The two vessels have arrived and there's nothing else. The gap is full. There will be no more illegal immigration. There will be nothing. The Coast Guard and the porous borders are porous no more because those two vessels have arrived and that was the panacea we were looking for to handle that scourge of illegal immigration. We don't need helicopters, we don't need radar, we don't need army camps down all across the Southwest Peninsula, we don't need police roadblocks, we don't need customs and immigration roadblocks, we don't need other smaller vessels, we don't need planes from the Air Guard with radar on it, we don't need none of that. We have two boats. Rowley bring two boats. Okay? And I'm asking, what was the grant funding received, please? Let us know now. Nice, if we get grant funding, that's excellent. But Rowley comes to discuss negotiation to purchase vaccine from the US, mix it up in a Kalalu with donations from the US that he and Amory Brown say Rowley is leading the charge to get vaccines. Out of the donated set, everybody in the world receiving million here, 1.5 million here, 500,000 here, 3 million there, 2 million there, Moderna here, Pfizer there, Johnson & Johnson there, Yankee flinging out vaccination. Trinidad ain't getting none. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Por qué no trira? Porque Maduro es su amigo, Rowley. Rowley y Maduro y Small Pin somos juntos. So Estados Unidos, all you wait for vaccine. So to take egg out the face, because the Yankee not taking him on, because his foreign policy put him on the side of Maduro, a narco-terrorist, an indicted drug trafficker, who then is on the side of Iran, Russia, and China. Rowley said, and Mondelo reported to the U.S. State Department, that China is the future of Trinidad and Tobago relations. Not the USA. USA is the past. Yankee say, well, we is the past. Look how we looking past you. Look how we are ignoring you. So listen carefully to President Joe Biden. Do you think donations of vaccine require any NDA? The President of the United States of America says, we are giving vaccinations. Unlike China, we are no string attached, no NDA, nothing. We just give in. Run him and listen carefully, you know.
Let me be clear. Just as with the 80 million doses we previously announced, the United States is providing these 500,000 doses with no strings attached. Let me say it again, with no strings attached. Our vaccine donations don't include pressure for favors or potential concessions. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period.
So, President of the USA, Biden, he mightn't be able to walk up steps good. He mightn't be able to answer question good. He mightn't be able to talk too long. He might drift off and just stop. Okay. But he bright enough and sharp enough to know that Rowley's a clown. Because he invite Rowley. Rowley is the chairman of CARICOM. They're talking about a climate conference. The Caribbean is one of the most at-risk regions based on climate and climate change. And Biden looked straight past Rowley and went to the Antigua Prime Minister Gaston Brown and the Jamaican Prime Minister Holness. Rowley is to stay in Tobago and fix the economy and play golf with small pin up in the K-Pax. That is why I brought up this, because we who live here, who know Rowley's a clown, who experience him from gravel rolling from a hospital to somewhere by to a friend and them going up in the sky while others couldn't, to a sheep farm without approval, to thing in Edinburgh 500 that they're trying to start back now and they're paying 28 million more for scaffolding than the highest bid, which was 4 million. Don't worry, Noel Garcia, the douglAR come in. I'm not wearing the same shirt, eh? Don't try that, Archie. Don't try that. This shirt is a different shirt, smaller thing. You understand? Look, the little pink. Don't get tired by not no one-shot Al-Rawi tight pants. Look in a mirror and go in a room with 13 man to dribble on them with no man and bray like a donkey. That Al-Rawi one-shot is a different shot, eh? Let me now read, as you all heard that. Because when I was telling you all for 2 years now, foreign policy decisions being made by Keith Rowley made no sense. We were turning our backs on our trading partners, our people we were looking for foreign direct investment from Canada, from Europe, from the United States of America. And the foreign policy that Keith Rowley and his government were undertaking was dangerous and was not in the best interest of the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. You now see that we are in 2020 are negative 439 million foreign direct investment. Why? Because we turned our back on our trading partners. We are not seen as stable, as friendly, as amenable to profits, to business, to democracy. We are aligned with Venezuela, oppression, Maduro, Iran, Russia, China, Equatorial Guinea. That's where Rowley has us. You all thought it was a joke. Now on top of that, while we are dying, while we want our children to go back to school, the only vaccinations that are being tested or approved for children are Pfizer and Moderna. The USA is giving away Pfizer and Moderna like it's dinner mint, like it's piwa in season. They're giving it away and we can't get. But the Guardian comes to pretend and Rowley comes to play, and the media, rather than distinguishing and showing Rowley to be the dishonest clown that he is, they obfuscate and they lump it together. So if you're not careful, you believe that Trinidad and Tobago is getting some kind of donation from the US of vaccines, while Rowley saying, hear what the Guardian put, Trinidad and Tobago signs a confidentiality agreement with US on vaccines. There is no such thing with regards to vaccines and the United States of America government. You heard the president of the USA say so. So if you are signing any NDA with anybody, you could be signing it with an American company, a US producer of vaccines, a company based in the US. You could be negotiating that for private purchase, but that has nothing to do with the government of the United States of America. But let's read what they put. Trinidad and Tobago has signed a confidentiality agreement with the United States, even as it's still negotiating for a gift. Guardian, you really print that nonsense? Number one, who negotiates for a gift? You request a gift, and the gift is either given or not given. You make your request. We would like to have 1.5 million Pfizer. What negotiation? Joe Biden said there is no negotiation. There is no contract to be signed. There is no NDA. There is no loan agreement that says you must buy 15% of the goods must come from China and so on. The US is not doing that. They didn't do that with Taiwan, Honduras, Brazil, El Salvador, Canada, Mexico, and all the other countries, down to Haiti and all get. They continued, Guardian. Keith Christopher Rowley said, with respect to the price, I could give the population the assurance that we are doing well with pricing situation. We are paying fairly attractive price. That's a different topic. I'm coming back to that. Hear what he says. Rowley said, we had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago, you have to determine now. I want you all to line up the Biden again, Archie. Biden again. We are going to have to decide as a people whether President Biden, newly elected President of the United States of America, is a liar, or whether our parliamentary convicted liar that we know lying from since he in politics, who is the liar? Because Keith Rowley here is stating categorically that we had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. The United States, not a company or a US company or a US vaccine producing company or a US based registered company. Keith Rowley said that the United States of America, the government of the USA, has forced Trinidad and Tobago to sign 3 documents, the first of which is a confidentiality document. So that's Keith Rowley's position. But play Biden. This is Biden's position. So we have to figure out who lying. Run it.
Let me be clear. Just as with the 80 million doses we previously announced, the United States is providing these 500,000 doses with no strings attached. Let me say it again, with no strings attached. Our vaccine donations don't include pressure for favors or potential concessions. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period.
But Rowley says that's the President of the United States of America. So if anybody from the U.S. Embassy is watching, please clear the air. We would love to know the truth. Is our Prime Minister lying? Or is your President, Joseph Biden, lying? Because both can't be telling the truth. Because one there said clearly to the whole world, and we have seen that gifts have been given, millions of doses globally to many countries. Over 24 countries have received gifts of vaccines, life-saving vaccines from the USA. And not once have I read of any government receiving the gift from the USA, signing anything about a confidentiality agreement or non-disclosure or 3 documents with the United States of America. I have not heard, read, seen, watched any report that showed that this that Rowley is talking about was done with any other country receiving gifts, donations of vaccines from from the United States of America. So this is a very serious issue. Is it that the USA is bullying us and telling us to sign confidentiality agreements and NDAs and treat documents as Keith Christopher Rowley is stating? Then why are you doing us that, USA? Tell us, why are you treating us differently from others? And why are you going against what your president said to the world? That there are no strings attached, no secrecy, no confidentiality. We're fighting this thing together and it's to just hit the virus. But Keith Rowley said, we, Trinidad and Tobago, had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. This one worries me. I'm very worried. Very, very worried. Now I could tell you that while the whole world received gifts, everybody knows global politics is critical. And if you side with enemies to the United States of America, like Iran and Russia and Venezuela, you are not going to be first in line. If you side and tell the USA that you are the partner of old and China is the partner of new, then you're not going to be first in line. You're not going to receive vaccines quickly. That's just a fact of life. And that's what you have to think about when you're formulating your foreign policy, your positions, when you are attacking the Rio Treaty, when you are attacking U.S. ambassadors, when you are attacking the U.S. president, when you're in parliament saying that Donald Trump can't do anything, the USA can't do anything. You come out and you shout and you put pressure on the U.S. to treat your narco-terrorist, drug trafficking, indicted oppressor in Venezuela. Treat him well. But now you come to tell us in Trinidad like we are a bunch of idiots. The whole world getting vaccine from the US. No confidentiality agreement. You come to tell we the people of Trinidad and Tobago that you signed confidentiality agreement with the United States of America. I am asking United States of America, is this true? Is it true that Trinidad and Tobago had to sign a non-disclosure confidentiality agreement to receive a gift from you, the great United States of America? This is what we the people elected, and this is the impression of us because Rowley is an arrogant clown who does not understand foreign policy, who is motivated by something else other than the greater good of his people and his citizens, because we are all greedy and we are not needy. But this is what the ambassador to the United States of America, this is the message he took back after dealing with Keith Rowley for a period of years. Run it!
Hello, Ambassador. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you once again back here on Long Island. So I guess to start off here, tell us about what it was like on those Twin Islands serving as the ambassador. What is the role? What was the situation there on the ground?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, the weather there is beautiful, and it always is between, I would say, 80 and 90 degrees, and it's a very enjoyable place to be. The government, however, I'll get right to the point, is definitely not looking at the United States the way they should. And I have to say it, I have to be completely blunt about it, because they had, in fact, their prime minister, his name is Keith Rowley, although a nice gentleman, made a statement to the paper that The United States was Trinidad's partner of the past. The United States was Trinidad's partner of the past.
And many more. That was so long ago we did that. And since then, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Brazil, across the board, I'm forgetting all the countries, just millions and millions. You have more? Run it! Show them all the countries. The agreement, run it.
Million doses of the Pfizer vaccine will begin to ship to Peru from the United States in 2.5 today, thanks to the President's commitment to playing a leading role in ending the pandemic everywhere. 2 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine will begin to ship to Peru from the United States, and 2.5 million doses of the Moderna vaccine will ship to Pakistan. Over the weekend, we announced we are sending 1.5 million doses of Moderna to Honduras, and over this week, we'll be able to announce more places that the United States will be sending our doses.
Let me be clear. Just as with the 80 million doses we previously announced, the United States is providing these 500,000 doses with no strings attached. Let me say it again, with no strings attached. Our vaccine donations don't include pressure for favors or potential concessions. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period.
Mondello, Ambassador, well.
But Keith Rowley said Trinidad and Tobago had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. Keith Rowley, you have to show the... Listen very carefully now, because y'all media are really getting sick and fed up of y'all. Y'all taking this country down a slippery path, and these things are too serious to be fooling with. You heard the President of the United States of America say something categorically. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is saying something obliquely opposite to what the President of the United States of America said. Members of the media, you are to ask Keith Christopher Rowley to produce that confidentiality agreement that he, let me repeat for you, that he stated. Trinidad and Tobago had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. So this document has already been signed, which means it was signed by a representative of Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, whether it is the Prime Minister himself or a member of the Cabinet, and others. And it had to be signed by a representative of the United States of America government, either an ambassador, a charge d'affaires, or some representative with local standi to represent and sign on behalf of the government and the people of the United States of America. Y'all must make Keith Christopher Rowley produce this document. This is going to be an international incident, because President Biden said no strings attached. We are doing this to save lives, to put the world in order. No strings attached, donations, gifts, no confidentiality, none of this. That's what the President said. Rowley is telling us, the people here at Trinidad and Tobago, no. Trinidad and Tobago had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. Really? So the United States of America with vaccines is moving exactly like China, who made Trinidad and Tobago sign a NDA, and we can't get no price, we can't get no information, we can't learn nothing about your money and what they spend your money on. Even though other countries like Guyana, Nepal, other countries who got Sinopharm, them discuss price too. So Archie, I might be going out of order, but play that little one for me now. Play the NDA one to show that while we are under secrecy, the rest of the world, when spending taxpayer money, other leaders find the people should know what they spent, how much they spent, and why they spent their money. That kind of sounds like it makes sense, but I don't know. Are you all ready in the back there? Run it.
But we do intend to order. I was talking to the Minister of Health just before I came to this press conference. In fact, I think the Ministry of Health has put in the order already. 1.5 million vaccines. And if whatever they cost within reason, we will find the money to pay for them. I've seen all sorts of ridiculous figures in the, I don't know what to call it, the fake social media, that the Sinopharm will cost $150. That's nonsense. The figure I got today, an indicative price, was $15 US for one. And I've asked my people to go and see if we could get that number down. And then I gave different prices. I said AstraZeneca is coming in below $5. Pfizer was looking at $23, and Sinopharm was $15, and we were trying to get that price down.
Also purchased Sinopharm vaccine, and they were able to reveal their per dose cost. So I was wondering why we were tied to an NDA.
This is Trinidad and Tobago, right? So let's keep our conversation there.
And just sticking in that same vein, in the interest of transparency, is the government considering buying through Guyana so that we'll be able to disclose?
You have another question?
Several more.
Yeah.
While I'm talking, I want you to go back to the Rowley piece. Find it, pause it there. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, this is not funny. And I commend the media for still trying to ask the questions in the face of an onslaught and barrage of bullying, nonsense, arrogance and stupidity, the secrecy and lies. Guyana buys Sinopharm. Guyana openly offered, the president say, we buy it at $17. Imbad Ball, well, it might be 15 way back. Then he changed. And he said, well, no. Convent girl come in the parliament and say, non-disclosure, we can't say what we get. What we pay for it. COVAX facility and other things, down at $5. When asked directly, but how come Guyana and other people telling the population what they pay for? Rowley watch you and say, this is Trinidad and Tobago. Me and say none of that. So this is Trinidad and Tobago. Under Keith Rowley, he has to tell you nothing. He can do what the hell he want. He can spend your money on what he want, why he want, how he want, bring vaccine when he want. You dead and he cool and he arrogant. He can open laundromat because he's smelling stink and all your suffering. Run the clown again.
Also purchased Sinopharm vaccine, and they were able to reveal their per dose cost. So I was wondering why we were tied to an NDA.
This is Trinidad and Tobago, right? So let's keep our conversation there.
And just sticking in that same vein, in the interest of transparency, is the government considering buying through Guyana so that we'll be able to disclose?
You have another question?
Several more.
Yeah.
To you all, to members of the media, whenever the next press conference of Buff and Mamagai and Lie is, that all the media must only ask one question. Honorable Prime Minister, please, well, we're seeing this, we're seeing the prices here, right? Coleman Butt said there was an initial price of $15, and he was trying to get it down. That was in May, long after Convent Girl said they signed the NDA in March. This information has been fact-checked, right? And you see in different countries, put it up a little bigger now so I could read it. you're seeing the prices that different countries paid. Guyana told their population that they paid 17. I remember Hungary had gotten it. We did it here on douglAR Politics at $36. Other people, some got it at 10. Who got it at 10 there? That looks like Indonesia or Bangladesh, right? Don't worry if you can't get it, I'll fight up. The people could magnify it on their own if they want. Pakistan got it at $27. We're looking at Hungary. Well, they got it at that high price early on, as we said. Bangladesh got it at $10. Nepal got the Sinopharm at $10. We have a non-disclosure. We ain't know nothing but call me, but slip out him out at 15. Okay? Move that there now. So, to members of the media, whenever Rowley comes back, whatever press conference, this is no games now. And he cannot try that same nonsense about this is Trinidad and Tobago. Let's keep the questions here. Because the question about Sinopharm, the cost, and Guyana and other countries getting it, is a relevant question. Do not get confused by bullying stupidity of Dr. Stones. But we have an even more critical question here now. 1. Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, please show the government, show the media, without divulging the terms and conditions of the confidentiality agreement, please show us the document signed with the United States of America. If you just want to show us your signature and the signature of the representative of the United States of America and the heading of the document saying confidentiality agreement or NDA with regards to donations of United States vaccines from the United States of America government, we don't need to see nothing else, because if it's we don't want to see nothing else. But we want to see if President Joe Biden is telling lies or whether Keith Rowley is telling lies. Because both cannot be true. Because Keith Rowley said, and I repeat, Trinidad and Tobago had to sign 3 documents, one of which has already been signed. That is a confidentiality document. So all our dealings with the United States are under confidentiality cover. That needs to be proved. You don't have to ask me who I believe, because I know one human being is a confirmed, documented liar. And the other person, I don't know them that well. But I know that their policy and the system that they govern and they run, when they talk, the policy, they come well prepared and they speak clearly, pellucidly. And we have seen across the globe, the US has donated vaccines and there have been no strings whatsoever. Peru had no strings, Taiwan had no string, Honduras had no string, El Salvador had no string, Mexico had no string, Canada had no string in Brazil, no string in Haiti. The US just donating vaccines. Rowley says, Trinidad and Tobago would have been in trouble if not for Sinopharm. Now listen to that headline. Trinidad and Tobago would have been in trouble. Stop there. So according to Rowley, Trinidad and Tobago is not in trouble. We are not in trouble. We had 982 dead. 13 deaths today. 252 positive cases today. Since May 11th, Brazilian variant ravaging the country. We are on lockdown, shutdown, broke down, and mash up economy. We have people starving, begging for hampers. We have people losing their houses, losing their cars, losing their assets. Businesses shutting down that will never open back. We are in a state of depression, anxiety, and crime is ravaging the country. 10 murders in one day. But Keith Rowley says, we are not in trouble. Then he goes on to say, we are not in trouble because he and Colmimbot get Sinopharm. From signing a loan 15 months ago with China, that part of it was that 15% of the money that you borrow had to be spent on their vaccine to come here. And we had to wait and delay. We are now in mid-July, and we are only at 10% fully vaccinated. We need to reach 70-75%. Even the 800,000 Sinopharm that reached, that's 400,000 people. If you jab 5,000 people per day, every day, including Saturday and Sunday, it will take you 80 days to get those jabs into people. And that plus the 100,000 is 500,000. It does not even take you up to 50% of what you need to do. And that's 80 days away. And the Delta variant, we don't know if it's there, if it's reaching, if it will come, when the borders open back. Not the borders open back, when the economy start to open back and jobs are working, people working, and illegal immigration begins again. What will be coming with it? Not only illegal immigrants. And the Delta variant, the US reports are showing ravaging certain US states where they have to go back into protocols. It is devastating. But Rowley says, we are not in trouble because he get 800,000, which is 400,000 people, human beings to be vaccinated with Sinopharm. The Delta variant, the science has shown that the Pfizer and the Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson are having some efficacy against the Delta variant. Of course, we need much more science, much more analysis. But Rowley says, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said on Thursday, the country would have been in trouble if it had not received the Sinopharm vaccine from China. Trinidad and Tobago's population of 1.4 million, Rowley said in order to achieve herd immunity, the government would have to vaccinate 3/4 of Trinidad and Tobago's 1.4 million population. No, Rowley, you clown. You have to vaccinate not only our population, the population of human beings that's here, which is upwards of 1.59 million with illegal immigrants. You are in charge and you do not even know that. Rowley said, that requires 2 doses. We would have to get up to 1.8 million vaccines. That is quite a large target considering vaccines were not available. Vaccines were not available due to your incompetence. Vaccines were not available due to you waiting and putting all your eggs in one basket, the Chinese Sinopharm basket, waiting for WHO approval, not getting the Pfizer that was available, the 351,000 shots, not moving and negotiating fast, not getting donations because you said you're not begging for no vaccine from nowhere. You and your government have dilly-dallied and delayed, and people are dying every day because of your gross negligence, incompetence, and delay. And the fact that you, Keith Rowley, would suggest to us, the people, that we are not in trouble in this chaos, in this crisis, in this position of tragedy, in this devastation, with people crying and losing their loved ones every day. Something is drastically wrong with you. And I'm calling on the St. Anne's people, the medical staff, I'm calling on all of them to do something. Grab him up and test him. Test him. Something is wrong with the man. Rowley, government can make COVID-19 vaccine mandatory. Yes? You can. You could do whatever you want. You could go in the parliament and make any laws. But you could go and consider something so drastic of making a vaccination into a human being mandatory, but you couldn't go in the parliament during lockdown, shutdown, broke down, and dead down and pass a law to stop the banks from collecting interest, to stop the banks from foreclosing on people, to stop the banks from collecting, adding on, and deferring interest that would accumulate. You couldn't go and pass a law to protect citizens while you shut down the economy because of your incompetence. You didn't go in parliament, you went in parliament to gut procurement. You went in parliament to liberalize gas station so your big boys could buy out the gas station and we had to pay extra. But you could not go in there to protect we people. You could not go in there to protect citizens from the credit card interest rates. I now understand, I now learn today that people are paying, when they're not working and so on, they're paying what they call the minimum rate on the credit card, which is just a hold it day, which is basically just interest. So if you max out your card, you're paying a big fee, like $650 per month per card, that the bank's just collecting and sucking. But however much you owe, so if your card balance is 10,000, 20,000, you max out, you still have to pay back that 20,000. But in order to just keep it going without them coming for you, without losing the card, you have to pay $650 per month. And the bank's just going. Did you go, Rowley, into the parliament to protect citizens? Their mortgages, their loans for the business, their credit cards, their balances. Did you go and pass a law to stop, to put a moratorium on the bank's power to foreclose and to collect? Why you didn't do that? But you want to go in the parliament to make a law, to make it mandatory that people have to take a vaccine that you delay and dilly-dally, that you create the position that is devastating and we are dying, that you cause the spread by inviting people. Come to Tobago. Tobago is open for business. Now Tobago dead in, Trinidad dead in, we all dead in. And you are worse than a hurricane, volcano, tsunami, and earthquake put together. We always say God is a Trinity. God can't be a Trinity because God gave you. And you worse than all them things. So all the hurricane that has gone north, it going north because we done high you. And God must be said that is enough separation for one people. One peanut head, bald head, doctor of stones, lying individual. He then said, here Keith Christopher Rowley. And let me tell you when I read this. If you are the leader of a family, a group, a club, whatever, a team, a business, and you don't know that there is a problem, you cannot be the problem solver. If you do not know that a problem exists, you cannot be the problem solver. So Keith Rowley believes that Trinidad and Tobago is not in trouble, whether COVID-19 or economically, macroeconomics, microeconomics, foreign exchange, crunch, net foreign direct investment. He believes we going good. So could he be the solution? Could he find the solution even if he had brains? Even if he had brains to replace the stones he have in his head? Here, Rowley now. This is an international conversation. What the government has done is to respect the right to choose what you want to put in your body. Really? You and your government was telling me, take what the hell you get, you have no choice. Whatever is there, take it. I come and ask if we in Cuba. But look, Cuba going and be free just now. People protesting. But suppose it becomes, this is key, you know. Listen to Rowley now. Suppose it becomes a situation where there is a variant of this virus that becomes even more virulent, is more deadly, and spreads more rapidly. And we know through scientific information that there's vaccines that could prevent that from happening. Then the government will have to take a decision on behalf of those persons who have the right to protect themselves from this virus. So a decision will have to be made. Very interesting. So Rowley does not believe that the Brazilian variant that is ravaging us, that has killed over 700 people in 2 months, that has us at 982 deaths, going to cross 1,000 deaths, had us at one time of 700 positive cases. We in lockdown, shut down and broke down. Lost 10 to 12 billion dollars in revenue. Opportunity cost. People are starving and hungry. Jobs, businesses shutting down. He thinks that Brazilian variant is not that deadly. Stop and think about that, what this man is saying, you know. All of you who are suffering and crying and so on, that this thing is out of control and you all are fearful, he find that passé. He's studying our next variant, and with all due respect, Delta variant from all reports globally, okay? So if I ain't trying to frighten all you, but just giving all you the facts. Then he said, there's the vaccine that could prevent that from happening. But you said Sinopharm. Without Sinopharm, we would be in trouble. Dr. Rowley, tomorrow, please tell us the Delta variant, the Brazilian variant. Please show us the scientific data showing that the Sinopharm protects from those variants, please. Because there is scientific data suggesting the Moderna, the Pfizer, the Johnson & Johnson. But you give me Sinopharm. And now you telling me that you're going to go in the parliament to make it mandatory to take a vaccine that scientifically could protect from the variant. There is no science that says Sinopharm protects from the variant. Please show us. Please show us that data. Because you can't go in the parliament and pass that law if there's no science that says the vaccine that we have does do that. Dunce. You see, when you just talk, when things just drop out your mouth, and your stones juggling in your head so your brain can't function whatever little bit you have, and then you're worried because you're emotionally distraught because of the new erectile dysfunction after the COVID-19 positive. It's all crumbling on you. St. Anne's. St. Anne's. Somebody call them now. By the way, where the 800,000 Johnson & Johnson you say was coming in July here? Somebody say he say from July to August. They was boasting, the media editorial come and say, yes, we're excited. Johnson & Johnson single jab. Wait, where the jab? Where the jab them? In the Grenada Carnival? Well, Trinidad certainly are no carnival. Then we moving right ahead, eh? Rowley, douglAR, I have a few questions for you. I see your papa thing I post. Your arms looking, you ain't playing golf and thing. You're looking dry up, boy. Like it's not only erectile dysfunction, it's all muscular thing. Like something going on with you. Everything flopping. But I see you take a jab there, Rowley. We ain't know what was in the jab. You tell me Sinopharm, how we supposed to know? Sinopharm is what? It is sing a song when you're in jacket. Sinopharm. That is it? That is how we know? You really feel we believe you, Rowley? But let me ask you something, Rowley. That picture you pop was about 3 days ago, mid-July, right? How come you take that? How come you take the vaccination mid-July? Wasn't your science, didn't your scientists, didn't your doctors tell us that you can't take a vaccine till September? I feel I heard that somewhere before. And if I did, you have some explaining to do, Lucy. Run it, let me see. All you run it now, man. Let me hear it. Prime Minister to take COVID-19 vaccine in October. The Prime Minister on Sunday said he could receive his first dose of World Health Organization WHO approved COVID-19 vaccine in October. Rowley made this disclosure as he dismissed a call by Orapuch East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal for him to take a shot at the Chinese Sinopharm vaccine. Let me ask you something, Rowley. Please show me the science that says that if you had COVID-19, you have to wait 6 months to take a vaccine.
So many questions. Now, one we've heard is, how long do you have to wait to get the vaccine if you've been sick with the virus? Alexis Moberger spoke with doctors and is on your side breaking it all down.
There is no recommended 60-day or 90-day wait. As long as you're out of isolation, you're clinically recovered from COVID-19, you can choose to be vaccinated.
The CDC originally said you should wait 90 days before getting the vaccine after being sick with the virus. But that's now changed.
Whether it be 6 months ago or 1 month ago, as long as you are out of isolation, meaning you're not contagious anymore, and you're clinically recovered from COVID-19, you can get vaccinated.
So you have COVID. WHO would now say that you can go a little less than 6 months in terms of the time for vaccination post-COVID. CDC's guideline says 3 months thereafter. WHO doesn't put a time on it. What they want to say is that the acute phase is completed and you can have your vaccine. So generally the advice now is we're looking at about 3 months based on the CDC's guideline and the WHO's guidance as an international mark. So 3 months post your first vaccine, even if you have COVID, or if you had COVID and you're going to have your vaccination, we delay for at least 3 months.
And they allowed it to go. Initially they said it was 6 months, and then later on WHO changed it to just over 3 months. So I am at the place now where I can be vaccinated, and I'll be happily vaccinated sometime in the next couple of days or so.
Naparima, a simple question, yes or no, did you receive the vaccine, the Pfizer?
Madam Speaker, I would not dignify the member for Naparima, his out-of-place question with an answer.
True or false? Sunlight kills the virus.
It does. That's a truism. That's one of the reasons why outside in the sun, when you are interacting, that is much, much better than being inside.
Again, stay out of the recirculated air. It's better to be outside and in the open air. Sunlight better than more recirculated air inside.
Exactly. And that's the reason why one of the 4 or 5 things that we say are important is outside is always better than inside.
Okay. You should export the opposition leader as an anti-COVID product in this pandemic. Go out and tell the world, sunshine does kill COVID.
You would recall they talked about building a dome. None other than the member for Siparia came out, build a dome. COVID will be killed in sunlight, etc.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it wasn't my honourable colleague, the member of St. Joseph, who tried to lull citizens into complacency by telling them sunlight does kill COVID.
Government. Because they believe in what? Sunshine.
It's a mismanagement of the COVID-19, then so be it. If the member believes that by not using sunshine, that's mismanagement, then he can do that.
Sunlight is great. We are so blessed. The climate we have is one of the best in the world. And I repeat again, sunlight will kill COVID-19.
Sunlight kills the virus.
It does.
A beach walk, taking the kids to the park, getting a run in around the bay, even lying down in the sun, having a cup of coffee or a drink. These photos might not look like Sydney is taking lockdown seriously, but when you look at the science, there has not been one case in New South Wales, even Australia, where someone has caught the virus outdoors.
What we've seen as characteristic of this pandemic is that COVID does not spread very easily outside, particularly if you can maintain that social distancing.
The fresh air disperses and dilutes virus particles, making it very difficult to transmit with any strength, and the liquid droplets that carry COVID evaporate in the outdoors.
Go out and tell the world, sunshine does kill COVID.
And I repeat again, sunlight will kill COVID-19.
Those are the clowns. And they have some of them reading it. Like somebody from the upper cabinet write it for them and they had to read. And now, 982 deaths. Brazilian variant ravaging. We on lockdown, shutdown and broke down. But still, 55 days later in a SOE, not only 9 murder, but 13 deaths for COVID-19, 252 cases, and we all inside. Beach closed, river closed, outdoor closed, and we have hot sun. Anybody understands that the activation of the virus only lasts 12 hours in hot sun, in the sunlight, whereas indoors, inside, air conditioned, it lasts 72 hours. Therefore, there is a 60-hour life, inverted commas, that the virus could spread indoors as opposed to outdoors in the sunlight and the breeze. Simple. And these clowns, these doctor of stones and a convent girl who cannot even pass a pharmacological exam, and a woman who don't even know how to pronounce word in parliament. Prof. Legacy, what he say there? Prophet, what is he, whatever word it is. Them calling Kamala dotish. But, and the next small pin want to talk about build a dome. Yes. Dome builders, dome sweepers, dome mason, dome carpenter. Not so? But let me tell you something, media. Tomorrow, don't take no bully from the bully, because you want to know who lying. Whether it is President Joe Biden or Keith Christopher Rowley. Let him show the non-disclosure, the confidentiality agreement that he signed with the United States of America government. Because this bully, all you mustn't afraid he. Because the bully is only bully. If you stand firm, he will crumble like the peanut head that he is. Run it, Archie.
I rise today, Mr. Vice President, not as a member of the People's National Movement. I rise today, Mr. Vice President, not even as a member of the government. But I rise as a 38-year-old, hard-working Trinbagonian woman. I stand to contribute to this debate, Mr. Vice President, as it is my pledge and my promise to the young girls and women of this country that I will pepper any man or any woman that facilitates, promotes, and engages in workplace bullying and harassment.
Because I will tell you, like she loved you, like she loved no other man. And because she knows that I love women, she thinks I love any woman. I have taste. And when I don't take on, she unfurls back. The lady is naked all alone. And she's scratching and ordering. The real lady is coming out. The lady in her is coming out. When they say, bring out the what? He's coming out. A lawyer who was on the verge of being your attorney general, sucking from the nipple of the prime minister. Because they believe that they will create all kind of Nancy story of irrelevances and make that the flavor of the day in the news. I have instructed Faris Al-Rawi not to respond to any more foolishness when coming to start discussing. If she has a problem, she has it still. And if she can find a candidate in South Fernando West, bring him, bring her, his licks in your waist, licks in your face, and licks all over your paper place. She could jump low. She could drink this, she could drink that. She could back in the dog because they ignore she jump. I tell you. I'm coming with a coattail telling you, vote for Kamala. That is tantamount to hugging up a porcupine to go to bed. And if you want to know what happens when you don't properly oversee those expenditures, Look at the people who have been managing the affairs, and you will see government ministers who came into office looking like Ms. Howard Chat, and you will see government ministers who came into office looking like Ms. Howard Chat. Prakash Ramadan, a member of the cabinet, telling you he has a safe seat in St. Augustine and he wants to go back for another 5 years to do this to you. To rape us with an umbrella, and worse, to open the umbrella after. That's what they're doing to us.
Prime Minister, I'd like to take the conversation to a more social realm, the social climate. You look on social media.
It's Christmas time, we should have some drinks then.
Well, perhaps of the non-alcoholic flavor.
Well, that is not a drink. You gotta post like a woman. You gotta groom her every day. Otherwise it turns into a pasture. You could behave as an effective opposition leader. I think the country is better for that. But geometry is not really the way to deal with these things.
Was that the word you used?
I choose my words very carefully. I choose my word very carefully. You could behave as an effective opposition leader. I think the country is better for that. But geometry is not really the way to deal with these things. 1/3 of the murders in recent times are domestic violence or domestic issues. And then that, you call on the Prime Minister to do something about crime. I'm not in your bedroom, I'm not in your choice of men.
What I see here is the prospect of a toxic culture being created in this parliament and outside this parliament. Bullying and those things, I make no apologies for saying it here. A lot of the times it is perpetuated by boys' club who seek to lock out or minimize the participation of women in the workplace, in leadership positions, and in politics.